It's not sending streaming. Okay. All right, there you go. All right, so yes, we are live. So hello everyone, a warm welcome to each of you, and yes, first of all, happy New Year. So it's start of a new year, and we hope all the blessings are more yet to come, definitely. And thank you for those who joined, and also great thanks to all who have been part of last year's Let Us Talk It guest speakers and audience. Definitely, we are very thankful and glad that you have joined in our initiative in giving back to the community through a form of free knowledge sharing. So, Let Us Talk It is a platform where anyone can express and share the information that they have. Either it is related to your corporate world or it could be your passion. So, whatever it is that could influence and create an impact all over the world is very welcome in this platform. So, for those who are wanting to become a guest speaker, you can let us know. You can visit our website, www.letustalkit.com. And in case you missed our previous sessions with interesting topics, you can find us on YouTube as well and on Facebook. So, just search Let Us Talk It. So, this initiative is made possible by Cogent Integrated Business Solutions. So they're an IT company based in Detroit, Michigan. They have offices in Spain and India as well, and they just wanted to give back. And the very best thing that they have thought of is giving back through a form of free knowledge sharing. So we invite professionals, definitely in different lines of expertise, and have them as a guest speaker to do a free talk, like few minutes of their time, and impacting the world with the knowledge and especially the experience that they have. So now we would start this session with a warm welcome, and we are very excited actually to hear this topic. And also, there's quite an unfortunate event that the other speaker cannot join in today due to an emergency, but we will make sure to still deliver the value that we promised, as we wanted to provide you the best information and experiences of our guest more on. And we have today our only guest speaker, supposedly. So we have Zulkarnain Ansari. Yeah. Say hi, sir. And how are you doing today?
Hey, Phil, I'm fine, thanks. And thank you very much for having me here. And Happy New Year, everyone.
All right, definitely. So, can you tell us a little bit about your background, sir? Like, what is your expertise? And yeah.
I have a 2 decades, more than 2 decades of experience in the IT industry. So initially, I was a software developer. Then I worked with Java, .NET, Oracle. So did the software development, the hardware engineering, and a mix of those. And then after 5 years, I shifted into the design industry, so the creative part. And in the year 2005, I was a part of a Stanford University initiative that's called the Flash Teams. And I did certain certifications, and I won the consecutive 45 weeks day challenge, the design challenge. And from there, I was into the UX, user experience, human-centered design, and the design thinking. So I'm a person now. I have a double master's. I'm a training. I'm a teacher. I'm a mentor at national universities called Beacon House National University and the ComSets, where I training students of the VR, virtual reality, immersive experience, and the user research practices. I own the company that is of Pakistan's first UX company. So we do have the user researchers, we have interface designers, we have mobile product designer, and the service designer. So this is a very short intro which I can explain. And I am giving back to the society for over 10 years. So that is my part of and passion to give back to the society, whether it's national level or the international level. You can get my ADP list link. I think I will share my link to Phil, and Phil will share with you that this is my ADP list link. And I suggest, Taiba, if you can share to Phil that ADP list, and anyone can ask anything regarding UX, regarding design thinking, regarding business leadership, and I will try my level best to share my experience with you guys. Thank
All
you.
right,
This is about
that's
me.
perfect. Well, thank you so much for telling us a little about yourself, definitely. And you've chosen to share to us a topic that's close to your heart, design thinking for leaders. So driving growth and innovation, correct? So
Right.
let me tell you that in this topic, Um, so Zane will help us explore how leaders can harness the power of design thinking to foster innovation, solve complex challenges, and drive sustainable business growth, and learn to create user-centered strategies and inspire creativity and deliver impactful results. All right. And for anyone, thank you. We have a lot of attendees. So anyone who has questions, it's either you can put it on chat or you can raise your hand. So we actually welcome questions or any comments or additional uh, opts. Actually, you can definitely provide it. So for the betterment of everyone, and also this for those who will miss or in case you are watching on YouTube right now, you can join in Zoom or you can put your uh, question on the comment section. I will deliver it to our guest speaker. And right now we will give the floor to Zane to proceed with the topic.
Thank you. So let me start with the leader. So what is the definition of the leader? So the leader is something or someone who can foresee something which others can't see. So if you see this definition, which comes from the Western part of the definition, the Eastern part as well. So it's all about their seeing things. It's not a see with your eyes. It's about the sight of the vision. So the visionary person is the leader who take the step for their team or others. And so design thinking is aspect for the leader because it starts with the design, which is a visual part, and the thinking, which you can't see the others. So it's a complete definition. The design thinking is a process for the leaders. So if you have a leadership qualities, you can align this process to excel your leadership qualities, where you can design or define the growth, drive it, and excel the innovation and innovative parts, creative and others. So let me move my pictures around. Okay. So the design thinking, it is a powerful process of the problem solving. So there are the multiple mindsets, which you call the 80-20 mindset, analytical mindset. So out of multiple mindset, there is a one particular mindset that is called a problem solving. If you already have that mindset, this is particularly for you. And if you don't have, you can polish it and you can adapt it. It begins with the understanding of the unmet customers' needs, and then it drive and foster the innovation, those insights which come from the unmet needs of the customer. It drive to the innovative process, and then that encompasses the concept development, applied the creativity, and come up with a solution that is called your experimentation. So these are the 4 steps of the design thinking. These approaches, when applied to the business, the success rate of the business will improve substantially. So that is actually what is the design thinking. So it's a process which I can say that it's a tool from the designer's toolkit for the businesses. So that is about. It is for empowering the innovation and driving the strategic success. So we have 3 things: creatives, teams, and business. So it encourages the creativity, it aligns the team towards the user-centered tools, and it drives the measurable outcomes. So that's measurable outcomes are the business outcomes. So creativity, teams, and business, which means you have the 3 layers. That is aesthetic layers, that is called a design. You have a technological layer that is aligned with your team for the user-centered. And the last layer is your business. So you always have a center of the users. You drive towards the user or the human-centric for this process. The role of the leaders in the design thinking. So there are 2 roles, the leaders for the design thinking. One is their key responsibilities, and one, how they can develop their leadership qualities. So the key responsibilities of the leaders are, it's cultivate a culture of the innovation. So if you are thinking to make and cultivate a culture of innovation, you need the people. First, you have to make yourself in area of the innovation, how to draft it, how you see it, how you think it, how you document it, how you analyze it, and how you convey to the community and the people. The second part is the empowered teams to experiment and took the calculated risks. So you have to empower them. This ability comes to the process which is called the design thinking. So this is a responsibility of your as a leader. And the third is a strategical goals alignment. So you have to align the design thinking with the strategic goal, which aligns with the business users and the creativity. The second part is the leadership qualities. So the leadership qualities is the first leadership quality which excel using the design thinking is visionary thinking. One, when you are unable to document your thoughts, this process can help you flawlessly to get that to make your leadership qualities and excel that qualities. So as a visionary thinking. Second is empathy driven decision making. So you have always a time to make decisions. Is it, you have to ask the questions that is it empathetic enough to make it. So this is ability create through the design thinking when you document it. And third part is adaptability in the uncertainty. So in the face of uncertainty, what are the areas of the adaptability? I still remember in Stanford University we called it dark roads. So if you can't see where you have to make yourself and a drive to work with, you have to make this adaptability and uncertainty. In that uncertainty period, you must have to adapt your leadership qualities. So that's also make with the align with the design thinking. So much backgrounds at how design thinking about the leadership and what qualities of the leadership you can excel in your design thinking. Let me show you some practices of the design thinking and the implementation in the previous projects. So that's gonna align with my conversation from here onward. So design thinking is the framework which starts with the problems, and those problems would be the root problem and how big the problem you're going to solve it. Is it a root problem or the symptoms of the problem? Because if you start to solve the symptoms of the problem, the root problem will still exist. And you have to solve the root problem, the symptoms will automatically disappear. The second part is who has those problems? So those are the users. When you talk about the users, it's not just the one layer of the user, it's all ecosystem. So the multiple segmentation of the users who face those problems, you have to just analyze that and think like an ecosystem at the individual panels and and the players, elemental players of the ecosystem to focus. And then the ideation, what the problem's trigger point, which area or what particular touch point you have that problem, and then how you solve that problem. Then you experiment that solution to the problem, show it to the user, test and iterate. So these are the basic steps of problem solving. In this process, which is design thinking, started again comes from the Stanford. So this is a D School's problems. First time design thinking framework introduced by D School, that is Stanford's initiative. In this process, this is a 5 steps process. These are 5 stages: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. If you see closely, there is the loop backs. So it is not a linear process. It could be the bilinear, duolinear, or multi-directional. So this is a multi-directional process. Let me walk you through with the practical examples. So in the empathize stage, let me show a project that is called a Google. We did that project in recent past, and the design challenge was to increase the demand of inclusive educational programs to promote the ethical AI usage, empower students and faculty with AI literacy, and foster the academic integrity to combat plagiarism. So that was our project. So Google, in this logo, you can see there is an AI chatbot, a robot, which is handshaking with a human, where they can utilize the strengths of AI, not for the plagiarism, to combat the plagiarism, but utilizing the AI features in the academia for students and the faculty at the same time. That was a main project which we wanted to ensure. So empathize phase is where you understand the experience, situation, and feelings of the user you're working with. First question is why we wanted to understand the experiences, situations, and the feelings of the user. If you are working in area of the design or the development or the business, so remember, this is all about the leaders. So the leaders must think about the experience, situations, and the feelings to cover the spaces and having an impactful solution, which covers all the mainstream and extreme users. So if you cover the extremes, you can made a perception, and that perception will made impulsive decisions of selling or buying things. So you can have a great CX and the UX for by developing this leadership skills. So 3 phases involved in this empathy stage. One is observe, second is engage, and third is watch and listen. In the observation phase, you have to observe the user, their behavior with the context of their lives. So let me say one more thing. In the phase of the observation, there is a philosophical theory that you have to observe the things as they are, not what you believe they are. So, as a leader, you don't have to manipulate your own idea under your biasness. So, you have to see things as they are, then engaged with the people and conversation with them with a golden circle of the Simon Sinek, what, how, and why aspect. So you engage what they are doing, why they are doing what they are doing, and how they are doing it. So you observe, you engage, and then you watch and listen. So ask someone to complete a task, tell you what they're doing, why they're doing. You can conduct certain exercises which called card sorting or peer observing peer, or you can have a guided tour. So any exercises you can conduct to get a better empathize. So the question arises here, why empathize first? So you should start with the empathy because it is not only to sell a product, services, or a system with the features or the functionalities. You have to literally believe in the problem and the user context with the cultural aspect or any other aspects, and you wanted to solve that problem for that particular user. So you have to start with the empathy to make a broaden aspect of the project or the product. And this is about the empathy. So how we did with this project in the Google, we did these exercises. So I have over 10 years of experience with the teaching and the training. So these are some of the screenshots you can see. I was training in the Bacon House National University, in the ComSets, and some of the design communities like QPro, some of the software houses, Contour, and there are LUMS, there's a Honor Foundation, there's UCP, there's a Bank Alpha that is called a British Center. And then I involve with all of these areas and get real insights from the users and the faculty members that to cover the qualitative aspects, to understand the user's emotions and their feelings and their situations on the qualitative level, not on the quantitative level. Some common exercises I did, that was user interviews, empathy maps, journey mapping, stakeholder mapping, observation orbit. So these are some of the exercises which I did. In this session, in this webinar, there is no time to explain all of this. And here I would like to explain that currently I'm conducting a human-centered design bootcamp, that is UX bootcamp. This is for batch number 8. It is a physical bootcamp in Lahore, Pakistan, and it's the second session was today. So it's a 2 months bootcamp where I explain all these exercises one by one, and the people are practicing that theory physically with me. You can join me on my social media links. Phil will share with you, and if you can share with Phil my ADP list link and social media links, then he can share with you guys, and you can always ask me question on anywhere, anytime, and you can follow it, these practices. These are some of the screenshots with the users when I talk one by one with the users. And so these are the students and the faculty. You can see here, there is a new offering of the evolutionary, revolutionary, and incremental model where the situation is, where we can't make. So these are some of the practices, and you can see those exercises. This is another exercises where we made our brainstorming with the data, how you put all the data and make a theme out of it. So this was the brain writing out of it exercise. And now we have a define phase. When we're done with the empathy, this is the time to process and synthesize the finding in order to form a user point of view that will you address. So we have users, their needs, and their insights. In the users, you have to develop an understanding of the type of person you are designing for. So in that case, I remember one of the project where we were initially supposed to do a dashboard design UI for poultry farm admins. So that was for them. But once we deep dive with the empathy of the user, we come to know that there are certain people which are the labor users, which they don't bother. They were the most affected user groups. So we meet with them. This is the particular type of the user. We solve their problems, and eventually the admins and owners problems solved. So the identification of the real user is the main challenge. And you have to do, as a leader, you make sure who are your users. And this is not come with the very start stage. You have to work with the problem context, with the symptoms of the problem, with the root cause of the problem, and then the user type segmentation divergence. And you converge what are the user segments you want to focus. And then the needs, that's the synthesis. Select the limited set of the needs that you think important to fulfill. So if you have, let's say, 12 different user types, and you focus that, okay, out of these 12, we have these 6 user types to focus, and they have 100 plus needs or 1,000 plus needs. So as a leader, you must understand what are the key needs you have to focus. And the last is insights. Insights express that you develop and define the principles, that which insights are important for you, not for you, sorry, which insights are important for your users. And you have to prioritize your project, not based on what you believe, but how users believe on it. And interesting exercises is called assumption mapping versus hypothesis mapping, where you see the data of the assumptions, make sure what users make, and hypothesis build out of it. So some of the exercises I can show, if you see the journey map on the left side, then there is a user needs documentation is in the center part, and then this part, and then there is a define of the audience. So there are multiple user types out there. So we have primary audience, we have secondary audience, we have extreme users, we have mainstream users. We plan the logistics, how we conduct the interview, how we recruitment tool, how we create the trusted atmosphere. So these are some of the exercises you conduct before interviews or after interviews. So it's a key insights. So we have these key insights in this project. We have to make ethical AI solution. We have academic, based on the academic pressures. The students use the AI tools unethically and shortcuts. Advancing AI competitors are the unified efforts or collaborative effort needs amongst the universities. So these are the key insights we drafted in the version 1. After this, so document what was defined purpose of it. It has the user, it has their needs, and it has their insights. So these are our insights. Now the second version of the insights are, we have to make a habitual AI driven plagiarism is the title, the normalization, the lack of ethical awareness. So we conducted the second round of insights, and we have to show these insights to the users. So we come up with their point of view that, okay, these are the important insights and these are not. Some common exercises are affinity mapping, insight statement, how might we define audience, etc. So let me explain one of the exercises here. Affinity mapping. This is the exercise of the ideation when you define it. So in the affinity mapping, all the information which you conducted from the interviews from the user, you document on the sticky notes, and all the team provide you the insights. So as a leader, you must observe and understand which are the user point of view, which are the team's point of view. There must be the biasness, and you can remove those biasness on the later stages. There is a frame your design challenge where you frame your design challenge in how might we statement, but in a greatly manner that how might we build a activity for the object constraining this objectivity for this objectives. And you have to make the voting that which you wanted to start. And so some of the exercises are mentioned here. These are the visuals of the exercises. So there's on the left side, this side, you can see these are the emotional map. And the right side, this is a frame your design challenge exercises, which we conducted. And then after design phase, we have a third phase. So we have the empathize stage where we do empathy with the user. Then we have this define stage where we define all these aspects on one place. And the third phase is ideate. Now it's a time to flare that what idea or what solution space. This is a solution space. We remember we mentioned the design thinking for the leadership as something.
मैं
So I
दूसरी लाइट ऑन करूं दूसरी दूसरी हाँ चलो आ जाओ
can you mute the team people, Phil? Okay, so we were in. Are you guys still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I mentioned about the ideate. So now we are ideation phase. In this phase, we have the brainstorm and generate the creative ideas to address the user needs and insights identified. One thing to remember, normally what people missed in these exercises, that they start doing the empathy in the empathize stage. There are different exercises. They come up with some value, and then what they did, now they come with the define phase, and they lost the empathy. And in the ideate phase, they start ideating something else because of the pressure of the stakeholders, or maybe they research the competitor and try to align with the competitor or the references. So you have to be very systematic. Although it's a multi-directional phase, you can move to and you can follow back to the in a circular way as an agile method, but you cannot miss the things that, okay, we did something here and now we don't have to focus it. You have to focus it. So this is the reason of the practices. So in the ideate phase, you brainstorm and generate the creative ideas to address the user needs. So you need the divergent thinking, creative exploration, and the group synergy and the user-centric solution. Let me explain one by one the divergent thinking. So in the divergent thinking, you have to explore the wide range of the potential solutions without judgment or constraints. It's just like if you are a photographer and you have to took a snapshot or a photo somewhere, so you have to see a whole environment. That is a part of your divergent thinking. The divergence is just like before actually flying, a bird is thinking where to fly. So when you are into the divergent thinking, you don't have to focus on one area. You don't have to focus on one solution. You don't have to be a judgmental of your idea that um, it is okay and welcome to come up with any idea which might be a stupid or might be looking as a foolish. Just come up with every idea. So your thinking would be divergent. It's a creative exploration and a group synergy. So push the boundaries and combine the perspective of the innovative ideas. So one thing is co-creation. Co-creation is important part. Everyone in the project or the product must be available for the talks, for the communication, and for the exercises to build a group synergy. So in the co-creation, it's not only about the stakeholder, it's internal and external stakeholders, which includes your end user, which includes your developers, which includes your designers, which includes your business player, marketing player, or maybe future it's NGOs or segments of the government's particular industries or international platforms. You have to involve whoever you want in the project as a co-creation. So it's a time to be a creative. It's innovative. You can go out of the box. Now, the last part is user-centric solution. So all the practices are user-centric. Again, as a leader, you cannot go that whatever I am thinking, the people have to obey. You have to be user-centered. So user-centric solution is ensure all ideas align with the user needs and the principles and the insights which you had already documented in the previous stages. So this is about the ideation phase. Now let me show you the exercises which I did in the ideation phase. These are the exercises which you can involve in the ideation phase. Analogous inspiration, where you made an analogy, uh, how user will feel using your app with the another solution. In short, or example, you can say, how might we, our fruit market solution, having a user feeling just like they have a user feeling of Apple Store. So there are the two different markets. The fruit market is different, the Apple Store is different, but you want a same user experience feeling, that I want this kind of feeling. So you have to study the Apple Store experience and make sure that this feeling I will involve in my fruit market. So this is how analogous inspiration done. Um, the other exercises are written here. Now let me show the exercises types. This is a how might we statement we did for our three highlight how might we's. And this is on the right side, you can see the analogous inspiration we did for this AI platform. And this is again some common exercises, how we theme it. After the affinity map, you have to document the particular themes, that this theme makes some different sense, this theme makes some different sense. And this is where you dot voting. So if you see that these are the people who working with the ideas. So we document all the ideas. It was 100 plus ideas based on the how insight statements. Every idea we made the votes that how people like it, how they're excited, how they made it challenging or not. So they mark it accordingly. And after their marking, we conducted in the total marks, and whoever votes there based on their marking, we took these are the great ideas. So after having over 150 ideas, we drafted top 5 ideas based on the votings, how were people working in the co-creation. Those votes will be eventually explored and decide our convergence. The divergence now convert into the convergence, that this is how we work. Uh, Next stage is prototype, the second last phase of the design thinking. So in this stage, we build to think a simple, clean, and fast way to shape ideas so you can experience and interact with them. So start building, making a storyboard. So it could be a storyboard, it could be a role play, it could be a wireframe, it could be a crazy eight, any exercise you can do that. In this start building, you create a artifact, a low resolution, low fidelity. That could be a physical object, that could be a digital clickable sketch. Just do it quick. In the exercise of the let me show you one exercise that is called a crazy eight exercise. So in that crazy eight exercise, you took one A4 size paper. You just make a flip, 1, 2, and 3 flips. If you are making, based on your user needs and insights, if you are making some wireframes or digital objects, so you can have this 8 sides of the paper. So if you see, it's already removing. So this paper, so we have 8 sides. Every side stands for a mobile screen, and you can quickly start with the sketching of it. So you can have an idea of it. So you don't need as so it's called a creative confidence. You must have confidence in your creative that it is okay to not be a complete design. It's okay to show incomplete design. It's okay to show a low fidelity design until unless other people can understand your idea. So just start your prototype in this way to save your time. We say it fail fast, fail early without save by saving your time, energy, and efforts, and the cost for the project. So as a leader, you consider you get the user feedback quickly by doing this prototype stage as a low fidelity. These are some of the names of the rapid prototype model. And so right now I've shown you this rapid model sprint. So you can do that. What we did, we were the team of the 5, and we built that prototype phase over 200 in just less than 1 hour. So how we did anything you have in mind. Someone made calendars. Some made e-commerce checkout. Some made so everyone was working together, and by this we have a low fidelity idea of a team synergy. This is a common exercise which I did for, and we did with my team, obviously, for this AI. So if you see, this is a storyboarding concept where we build that how Google will work, what are the features, where to get the resources, where we get the funding, how NGOs work, how academical integrity will work, shared AI ethics can work. So this is how and how the solution might be. Excuse me. There's an example of the storyboarding, which our person was Khansa. Khansa was a student of mine at concerts, and her age 22, her profession is this. And what are the challenges? So this is the one way of the storyboarding. I started with Khansa. Then we come up with the roadmap of the prototyping. So you don't have to start only the road onto the prototyping. Before prototyping, you have to make a roadmap, what you wanted and how you wanted and why you wanted that prototype. So these are the answers that you want to make awareness, a sport access, and the service experience, because you have to ensure your prototyping in the right directions. So this is the KPIs for your prototype. So these are the possible prototypes. AI common area, how AI campaign will launch, how working as an AI for the students, how AI will suggest their career, how AI will suggest their studies, how AI can help them to see their exam scores before exams, how they took the instructor notes and make the data easily accessible via text and speech, and how they make a summarize of the information, how they help them to study. So they don't have to make plagiarism, but they can get real help from the AI. Also, there are some screens of their marking, their journey, their persona and profiles. And now it's a time for test. So test is the phase where you have to show your prototype with the people. That's low fidelity. Ask them from their insights, their inputs. So this particular phase, we can't call it, you can call it a usability testing. So in that testing, you get the feedback and ensure that why the reason of this feedback, and then reframe, refine. It's a loop back. You go back to prototype. You can go back even the ideation. You can go back to the empathize that maybe the might users discovery needed. And some of the examples of test phases: pitch, feedback, relay. And let me show you example of the pitch. This is the pitch. In the test phase, you have this about the project, the pitch, the format, short pitch, team symptoms. You have to mail all this information with you. And then this is example of the usability testing. And we test it with the teachers, with the students, and with the admins of the AI working in the academia in the universities. And this is the iteration based on the feedback. And let me show you some of the examples. That in this example, we got this feedback that we must have to make onboarding screens. Also, we have to make some reward system for the AI. There was no reward system in the AI. We have to make introduce the currency, just like a cryptocurrency, and those rewards will must ensure as a certification and as a part of their academical marking. It must not be a different, a new topic or new course, but it could be inclusive in their existing courses and in existing LMS. And they must have a helper to see their GPA before even the exam. They can see, okay, their test remarks are this. We don't have to wait for a complete semester to end, but you can see that, so we can work accordingly to that particular subject. So these are some of the insights, and based on these insights, we come up with this um, these wireframes. So we actually, if you see that initially we had these different wireframes, these were the wireframes, and we used some of those. But now, after the testing and iteration in the feedback, this is the iterative wireframes, and this is already user accepted. Now there are less chances of market deny. There's a less chances of failing. Now we are starting developing this concept. So this is how design thinking works. This is how it impact a leadership. They can envision the things before it actually happen. They can document it. They can analyze it. They can build, align their team towards the user-centric stuff, and they can have these practices. So this is all about my session. I hope you can get some value out of it. And this is the time for question answer. Over to you, Phil.
All right. Thank you, Zane, so much. And that's very quite overloading information that you have shared. And yeah, well, it's not currently in line of my expertise, but yes, we would like to ask our audience to put in their questions so it can be addressed by Zane.
Yeah. So there are some in the chat. Okay. So the first is Abdul Hafiz. Is divergent thinking and the design thinking is the same? No. I mentioned that design thinking is actually the process of the problem solving. We have two areas in the problem solving. One is the problem, one is the solution. And when you work into the problem space, you start with the divergent thinking. It's diverge, welcome every idea, and then you have to converge. So on 5 stages of the design thinking, the first thing was where you empathize, it's a diverge. Then you define. When you define, it's converge. You define it with the, and then you again diverge. In ideate, it will be again diverge. And in the prototype, it will be again converge. Then test, it will be iterate. So basically, divergent thinking and the convergent thinking are the parts of design thinking. So design thinking is the process, main process of the problem solving. The second question is from Hasnan. I feel divergent thinking is just a sub part of design thinking. Yes, you are right. And then we have a question from Sandy. What are the insightful sessions, sir? Oh, thanks. It's just a remark. What role does user feedback, Taiba? What role does user feedback play in the shaping innovative solutions? Okay, so you see, innovation is not just a spark. or it's not just a light, it's flashing anytime, or you get an innovative idea. Oh, yes, I have an idea. Or this. It's not an innovation. So the idea is a step-by-step process. It comes with a different area, then it's shaped in a different section. So this is how you work. And the term of the innovation is when you work in the things are already there. So innovation is the tires are already made. You don't have to make a tire or develop a tire anymore. What you can do is just made some fixtures and things according to the situation, that this tire is of a cart tire, or a car tire, or a tire for the spaceship which will land on the moon. So what kind of tire you are making? So you have a different situation and different constraints. So user feedback plays an important role to shaping the innovation solution, because the user will tell you the context, the context, and the situation they are feeling. As a designer, as a developer, or as a leader, when you are developing something for the users, you are not from their culture. You don't know nothing about the user. You have to be immersed in their situation, their area, their demography, their challenges, so you can better understand. So you shape your solution according to them. So this is about it. Mel mentioned, love this session. Thank you. I have a question. In organizations that are resistant to change. Perfect. How can design thinking empower leaders to overcome the obstacles and foster the culture of adaptability and the continuous improvement? $1 million question now. So first thing is, there is an exercise which is called a theory of change. The change is very certain thing. No one wanted that change, but without change, nothing could be improved. So first thing is, your own mind will resist the change. Whenever you're thinking to change, the insight in your mind will start to resist you, that we don't want to change, because it is a very lazy organ. Your mind is, it stop you to work on the change. What is doing, your brain is start showing you the data or the insight, that all are why you don't do this, what you are doing, or why this change is not. And the reason of that is, your brain is actually physical transform. When it's thinking about the change, it physically reshape itself, and that is very irritating or itching for itself, when because it's inside the skull and it start itching. So it wanted to make you calm. So the second practice, if you're still thinking after the data, the brain starting to show you the emotional way, emotional trauma. So you can, out of the context, you're thinking on the trauma, and you distract from the change. So first is, what is the main functionality of the brain is? Number one, information storage, information process from the information, and the retrieval of the information. So there are only three parts, but brain is starting controlling you. So it's your task to fight with this internal thoughts. Okay, if you fight enough, and now it's a time for the organization level, with others, with your peers, or with the synergy, with the hierarchical level. Yes, that's a challenge. People don't want that change, and they are very resistant for that. Your task is to show them a couple of things. One thing is, what value they're after. Not start with the user, not start with the process, not start with the things which you can provide, because there would be another synergy developed, that there is a new sheriff in the town, and you wanted to show them that how they deal the business, which they are already doing. So don't do that. The right answer, or right process to do that is, number one, understand the business or organizational level points, their vision. And then second phase, you start working on the other aspect, how the design thinking will help them to grow. Show them the numbers, show them the value, and that value will start into the changes. And it is not only the verbal conversation. There is an exercise, like I mentioned earlier when responding in this question, there is an exercise called theory of change. In that theory of change, you actually document that the stepwise change process. In the stepwise change process, you start with the freeze and defreeze technique. So for instance, if you have 10 items, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 items, your suggested change would not implement it. So you have to freeze that this is the change. align with the people that we wanted to make for the growth of the organization, that these are the done. But these are the defrees that we start with these areas. We'll look at after, let's say 3 months or after in next sprint. So you start working on it. Then every time you have to show the values. So verbal stuff mean no value. Make it a process, document it, show them, and achieve that. Once you achieve it, they will accept. So without getting in more details, there are lots of experience in my previous examples where I show them the change, but I actually make that change. And when they see that change into the numbers, like a financial numbers, they automatically accepted that. If you don't do that, they will only see that you are only after these exercises to make your salary increases, maybe. So that is a misconception will start. So you start showing them their value by giving the value, and then your change will. I hope this would be answer the question. Omar asked, what strategies can leaders use to overcome the resistance to adopting design thinking practices among team members? Okay, so my answer was for a higher level. So among the team members, uh, so what you can do is show them how it saves your time. As a leader, you can show them that if you have, for instance, like I shown you, that these were uh, these were the things, these are the prototypes which develops after the testing and made ensure that this is what we are going to do. So as a leader, it is your responsibility to make your theory work well. If it doesn't work well, no one gonna believe you. But if it works well, everyone will believe you that what was your process. So you have to ensure all the practices by showing them the process itself and believe your belief on that. And then you have to ensure that it will be successful in the market. Once it's done, you show them your success and people will follow. This is how you work with your team members. Abdul Wahid asked, any UX designer claiming that he uses the design thinking process, will he be the leader? So design thinking, so designer is a one job role. Leader, any human can be leader. By the way, any person who, anyone who is a living being, so it includes the animals as well, you can see the leaders in the animals as well. So someone who take the lead, that is the definition, and they can see what others can't see based on their experience, skill set, or belief. That's the definition of the leader. So any UX designer claiming that he's, so yes, I can claim I am a UX person. I'm a leader as well in my team, in a small team, but you can see I can lead and I lead always. Yes, they can utilize the design thinking process and it can be a leader. So in my example, if I explain that in Rosie.pk, I was a design manager. In Systems Limited, I was a UX director. In my own company, I'm a chief design officer and the CEO of the company. So you can't get all the titles all the time. Like you can say that you can fool some of the people some of the time. You can fool some of the people all of the time. You can fool all of the people some of the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all of the time. So if there are lots of titles out there, practical titles over the last 10 years, so yes, as a UX designer, you're claiming that you know the design thinking and you use this process, you can be a leader. Uh, Continue to apply these concepts. Thank you so much. So these were all the questions I have in this. If Phil, is there any other questions in the Facebook, in the YouTube, or any other? Please shoot, and I will try to answer them.
Yes, currently we have somewhat some few who are watching on YouTube and they don't have any questions just yet. But
Okay.
in case for those who have joined in late or who have watched on the live session uh, a little late, we will upload this recorded session on YouTube so you can actually watch it later. Or in case if you have missed some few parts, you can rewatch it as there are a lot of valuable information being shared by Zane right here.
Thank you. And if you ask some question in the YouTube, I will try my level best for next few days to make sure that I will respond the questions as well.
All
So I
right,
will be
yes,
too.
definitely. So you can, yes, mention you can leave
Shared
your
by
questions in the chat session or the comment section of the YouTube uploaded section. All right. So
well.
yeah, we are about we are close to the end of the session. We'd like to ask Zane if you have anything upcoming that you'd like to promote, What are you doing right now? Like you have a book or any upcoming online events?
Thank you very much, Phil, for this, and thank you very much, Rajiv, for this message, encouraging message. For me, I have actually started my book, but based on the limited time because I'm teaching in the university. I'm having this busy schedule with my company as well. So the book
Mhm.
is already under the process, but there is no deadline, so I don't wanted to promote it right now. However, there is a group called Ask UX. That is a YouTube channel. I'm going to share you the link. You can follow that. There's another thing, Facebook, so you can do that. There is a exercise. So let me write it here. This is my Facebook link. There is a YouTube channel, so you can follow. And yes, there is a website, my company's website, that is called expertsdesk.net. So I will gonna share you that link as well. So follow these practices. Find me on the Facebook. Find me on ADP list. I'm ready to respond you. And if you have any query as a mentor, I'm available. In Pakistan, in our nation, I'm the only person from last 3 years. I'm the top mentor from my country, and worldwide, I'm in the top 10% and top 1% as per ADP list. So I'm there as well.
Wow.
So you can ask anything, anytime freely. Made your session for 30 minutes, and I will respond you for your business queries, for your startup queries, for your leadership, for your career, for your study. So I'm available wherever I can respond. So these are some of the links I've shared. Just follow, and that's what I wanted to promote.
All right, that's perfect. Well, thank you. That's very much, very kind of you for allowing those free sessions or any questions that you'll be doing. So, make sure to take note of that list, and also, for Zane, if your students or anyone in your line of work are interested with this free webinars, we do this one every Wednesday, so they can rejoin in freely as well for any informational topics that they wanted to. If they have the leisure of a few minutes, like 30 to 1 hour, they can join in freely in the same link that we shared on the Zoom link. So yeah, they can rejoin next week as well, as we will have the same this kind of uh knowledge sharing actually. So all right.
All right. So thank you very much, guys. And thanks, Phil. And thank you, everyone.
All right. So thank you so much, Zane. We are. It's really a pleasure and an honor to have you in this webinar today. Thank you for actually extending your valuable time and the knowledge that you wanted to share to everyone. So,
Nice.
yes, we'd like to read. Lastly, as a leader, it's always refreshing to start the year with such an insightful session. The fresh perspective shared today is a great reminder of the power of innovation and continuous learning. All right. So, thank you as well, Rajiv. All right. So, again, thank you everyone for joining in today. We appreciate your time. We'd like to invite you again next Wednesday, same time, 12 noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And yes, don't forget to give back to the community as much as you can, any way possible. So sharing knowledge for free is the better way. So if you want to be a guest speaker, let us know. www.letustalkit.com, or you can just attend and listen to free knowledge. All right. Again, Zane, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. And Tayaba, thank you for recommending Zane. Take care. All the best. Bye bye.